Days until the World Cup, and excitement for the soccer itself is heating up, but many fans are running hot with major frustration over the soaring costs of tickets to attend the World Cup.
Expensive ticket prices have been an ongoing concern for fans since they went on sale.
So, I live in Canada, and this summer, the World Cup came here for the first time. I drove to Toronto expecting what everyone expects when they go to a city that is hosting a football match, let alone the World Cup. Flags, noise, strangers hugging in the street, that specific energy that only exists when the whole world is watching the same thing. The next morning, I saw more people in Blue Jays jerseys going to a baseball game than I saw celebrating the World Cup the night before. In a city hosting the World Cup. Something is off. So I followed the money, the ticket prices, the algorithm, the fan zones with paywalls, and what I found is that FIFA turned the world's most democratic sport into the biggest payday ever. In this video, we're going to see how that looks like. Football is the only sport on earth with no real entry fee. No equipment, no court, no league membership. Just a ball and a flat surface. And somewhere on every continent right now, someone is playing the exact same game with exactly those two same things. That's why 4 billion people watch the World Cup. Not because FIFA marketed it well, because for 100 years, this tournament meant something. It meant that for 1 month, every 4 years, the world agreed to care about the same thing at the same time. Regardless of language, regardless of money, regardless of who you are. There's a word for that feeling: belonging. You feel it when your country scores and you're screaming at strangers on the streets. You feel it in airports during the World Cup, and at fan parks, and in living rooms. And in fact, that a kid in Senegal and a kid in Texas are arguing about the same players. That feeling has a price now. Meet Har Patel. She lives in the Greater Toronto area. Football has been part of her whole life. In 2022, her family almost went to Qatar. They decided to wait because 2026 was coming to Toronto, their city, their country. This was going to be their World Cup. She entered every lottery, refreshed every portal, watched prices fall from $1,200 to $500 and still couldn't justify the price for 5 people. She said, "We're just completely priced out." She wasn't complaining about the luxury that she couldn't afford. She was describing something that was supposed to be within reach. That's a different kind of hurt. Here's the thing though. The World Cup isn't a regular sporting event. It's a bucket list item. A friend of mine sent me a voice note a couple of days ago telling me about her friend that she was depressed and could not really afford therapy. Plot twist though. She was able to go to a match by buying a ticket for $1,300. And her justification was, "This is my therapy." And honestly, I get it. There is something about being in that stadium with 60,000 people, all caring about the exact same thing at the same time. That cannot be replicated. What bothers me is that FIFA knows this. The emotional logic that made that woman spend $1,300 she couldn't afford, that's not random. The love for the sport is the revenue stream. This channel follows the money behind the things that feel personal. If you want to know more about this, subscribe. We're just getting started. So I went to the official FIFA Fan Festival in Toronto. Free entry, or so I thought. I get there, the free general admission tickets are sold out. Not the match tickets. The fan zone. The free public viewing event, sold out. The only things left are the VIP packages. The pitchside terrace, $150. A Casa Amigos clubhouse, $300. The fan festival, the thing that FIFA built so people who couldn't afford to go to the matches can still experience the World Cup, also had a paywall. What I did find though, and that was genuinely the best thing I saw all day, was around the corner of Nathan Phillips Square, FIFA had set up a small pitch. No tickets, no rope, just kids playing soccer in the middle of downtown Toronto. That little square had more World Cup energy than anything else I saw that day. One moment, I need a hydration break. About that, every match at this World Cup stops once per half for mandatory hydration breaks.
June in North America is hot and getting hotter every year. That's the official reason FIFA has added hydration breaks at the World Cup.
Official reason: players' welfare. Normally, football has 2 halves, not 4. What actually happens? Broadcasters get a window to run a full commercial break mid-game.
But some fans and players are throwing cold water on that.
I think it's probably making some more money for FIFA. Hydration break turned into a commercial break.
Fox Sports paid $485 million for the US broadcast rights. Player welfare, fine, but that's not the main reason.
But a good chunk of the tournament is being played in air-conditioned domed stadiums like BC Place.
If this decision was really made more to protect the health and the performance of the players, or if it was made to protect marketing and other issues.
FIFA expanded the tournament this year. 32 teams became 48. 64 matches became 104. The official explanation: more fans, more football. Infantino, FIFA's CEO, and I'm quoting directly,
a World Cup is 104 Super Bowls in 1 month. It's 3 Super Bowls a day.
basic economics say more supply means lower prices. Prices went up because the expansion was never about the fans. It was about inventory. More matches mean more broadcast hours, more sponsorship slots, more of everything FIFA was already selling. They didn't add 23 teams simply to welcome you in, or at least that's not the main reason. Here's something I didn't know about this tournament before I started looking into this. This tournament was structured in a way that is very different from everyone before it. Normally, a local organizing committee runs the World Cup, absorbs the costs, shares the upside. Not this time. For the first time in the World Cup history, FIFA ran this tournament directly. The host city covered the costs, security, infrastructure, transportation. FIFA kept all the revenue.
And Rosanna, it's good to see you. So I think a lot of people, Rosanna, they might assume, the World Cup would be just this sort of giant economic windfall for hotels. And so I'm just curious how you would grade the tournament so far. What has demand been like? We see these media reports, Rosanna, which sort of suggest it's been kind of uneven, a bit mixed.
Every ticket, broadcast deal, every sponsorship dollar. Now to the tickets prices themselves. When North America won the bid for the tournament, FIFA's own documents set a maximum ticket price for the final at $1,500. That was the promise. When tickets went on sale, the cheapest final ticket was over $5,000. FIFA then raised prices again. The most expensive seats hit nearly $11,000 on the official market. On the resale platform, listing crossed $2 million. And the mechanism that made all of this possible: dynamic pricing. For the first time ever at a World Cup, an algorithm adjusted prices in real time based on demand. The same model airlines and concert venues use, applied to the sport that 4 billion people love. Now, here's where it gets more interesting. FIFA ran 2 completely different systems. The first system was a lottery. You applied months before the tournament starts, before the draw happened, and before anyone knew which teams are gonna play where. You picked a city and a date. You might get Ronaldo, you might get a group stage that nobody was asking for. You didn't know, but, and this matters, if you won the lottery, the price was locked in. Whatever you paid when you entered, the algorithm didn't touch it. The second system is where the algorithm lives. Once the draw happened, and everyone knew which teams are gonna be playing which matches, FIFA released the remaining of the inventory into dynamic pricing. Now the price moved with demand. And then there's the resale layer on top of all of that. FIFA runs its own official resale platform. If a lottery winner bought a mystery ticket for $200, and it turned out to be a messy match, they could list it for $5,000. And get this, FIFA charges both the buyer and the seller 15%. Now, that's free money. New York and New Jersey's attorneys general formally subpoenaed FIFA over the pricing practices. When the backlash about prices went loud enough, Infantino responded publicly.
Doesn't mean that the tickets cost $2 million. Number two, it doesn't mean that somebody will buy these tickets. Actually, if somebody buys a ticket for the final, $2 million. I will personally bring him a hot dog and a Coke.
Yeah.
To make sure that he has a great experience.
This World Cup felt American, not geographically, structurally. FIFA run this tournament like the NFL runs the Super Bowl. Tiered access, dynamic pricing, sponsored everything, VIP zones inside free events. The fan experience as a product with different price points depending on what you can afford. That model works for the Super Bowl. American football, American pricing culture, people who go to the Super Bowl expect to spend thousands. That's the deal. But football, the other football, was never supposed to work like that. The World Cup belongs to people from 167 countries. Many of them come from places where $800 is a month's salary. It belongs to people who followed their national teams their entire lives and who planned and saved for this one long enough because it's finally in their city. FIFA priced the tournament for an NFL audience and then discovered that football fans are not NFL fans. 2 days before kickoff, 180,000 tickets were unsold. FIFA quietly slashed prices. After all of that, the subpoenas, the backlash, the empty seats, FIFA introduced a $60 supporter entry tier. How admirable. Available to roughly 1% of the stadium capacity. Gone before the public queued opened. Fan groups call this bait and switch. Now, I want to be fair about something. FIFA does distribute development funding to member associations in over 100 countries. Some of that genuinely builds football at the grassroots level. That's real. And Har Patel in Toronto waited 4 years, entered every lottery, couldn't get in. She wasn't asking for the final. She was asking to exist in this thing that was supposed to include her. There's a version of that World Cup that still exists. I saw it at Nathan Phillips Square. Kids playing on free pitch in downtown Toronto. No ticket required, no algorithm, no VIP tier, just a ball and a flat surface. And the same game that 4 billion people love. That version doesn't go away, but it's getting smaller. And the other version, the one with the ad breaks, dressed as hydration, is getting bigger. Football has always been the sport that proves money doesn't decide what belongs to you. This tournament just spent 4 weeks testing whether this is still true. If you follow the money long enough, it always tells you what something actually is, versus what it says it is. The World Cup says it's the people's tournament. The receipt say it's something else. Let me know in the comments. Are you watching this edition? And if yes, are you enjoying it? I'm Sally. This channel follows the money, behind the things that feel personal. Subscribe if that's what you're here for.